South Africans are making their mark at the polls at voting stations across the country. Special votes got underway this morning and will be conducted over 2 days. Eligible voters who applied for special votes have been casting their ballots. This election is the first where there are 3 ballots being used. It also marks the first election where independent candidates are contesting the elections. The names of independents will only be seen on 2 of the 3 ballot papers. Their names will be on the regional and provincial ballots, still competing with political parties for seats in the National Assembly and provincial legislatures. The Northern Cape is the only province where there are no independent candidates contesting the elections. Well, for more on this, we cross to the Northwest Province now to speak to my colleague Tebogo Phakedi, who is standing by for us in Mahikeng. She's tracking the special votes that are going on there. A very good afternoon, Tebogo. Tell us more.
Good afternoon, Nompu, to you and of course the viewers. The second batch of voting, as we know that the first batch was of course the voters that are outside the country. Now special voters are starting to cast their votes today and of course tomorrow. Here in the Northwest, I can tell you that we have about 1,698 voting stations that are catering for special elections, and of course with the walk-ins that are expected there being about 136,639. These are just walk-in votes at the specific voting stations. The home visits, we are told that about 43,526 will be expecting IAC officials to visit them to cast their vote. Some of those that are participating in this special elections, Nompu, are your security sector, the South African National Defence Force, for an example, who are also deployed to different areas across the country to ensure that these are, not just fair but safe elections for South Africans. We want to hear from the South African National Defence Union. I'm going to talk to their national organizer, that is Mohapi, as we are of course monitoring this special elections. What is it that they expect? Of course your members, part of those that are participating in these special votes as they are deployed to different areas across the country. Just your reaction to this and of course perhaps the message to them.
Yeah, thank you, Tebogo, and thank you to your viewers at home. As SANDU, we like to encourage the Department of Defense to give our soldiers that right that is entrenched to them by the Constitution to go and vote. All of soldiers must go and vote, and even those who are deployed, like you said, they must be given a chance because this is the only chance that they have. It's only to them tomorrow. Soldiers must go and vote. It is so important that everyone must get a chance, without forgetting that soldiers in group, they are apolitical. But as individuals, these guys are fathers, they are mothers, they are sisters, brothers of us. They are citizens of South Africa, and they must be given that chance to vote.
We are just 20 meters away from the Operation Center, South African National Defence Force Operation Center here in Mahikeng. And of course, some of them are placed about 1 kilometer from here. Let us just talk about the expectations that as SANDU you have as we are heading for these elections.
Yes. South African National Defence Force is having a very serious problem. I know that we are encouraging our members to go and vote, but now we don't take decision in the Department of Defence on how do we run the Department of Defence. Politicians are doing that. We are encouraging, we are respecting that every political party, irrespective of which is it must take care of the soldiers. This thing of the Portfolio Committee on Defence, encouraging people in Parliament to go and cut the budget of defence every year. It makes it difficult for defense to run. So respecting that the new government that's going to be elected must take care of the security of this, more especially soldiers. Soldiers don't have equipment, they don't have uniform, they don't have boots, they don't have food. Even those who are deployed, they are calling SANDU every day to say we are struggling, either in DRC, in Mozambique. And this is caused by the cut of budget that is happening almost every year by the politicians. So if they are elected, they must take care of their security. That's the most important thing that they must do, because a happy soldier will always do his job professionally.
And as the union, what has been the conversation behind closed doors, perhaps, with those that are relevant to respond to these concerns?
We are trying our best as SANDU. That there is this department that is so arrogant it does not take care of soldiers. Every case that we have, including bonuses, including their increment, we must first go to court to solve the problem. They cannot. They are delaying the bargaining council in that regard. We cannot bargain for the soldiers. It's difficult for us. And having said that, even the soldiers themselves, I don't know if they are afraid because they don't join the union. We have only 20,000 out of 70 members in the department who are members of SANDU. And that becomes very difficult for us to go and bargain with the Department of Defense. They are aware that we don't have enough numbers. So I'm encouraging soldiers to join the union so that when you talk like this, then we must go in numbers.
You were just making an example of those that are even deployed in the DRC, and you said earlier on that they call on a daily basis. Can you just give us a picture of the conditions they are working under?
The conditions, more especially in DRC, they'll tell us that they don't have ablution blocks. They don't have boots. They don't have ammunition. I think you know about the incident that happened in the DRC when our soldiers were dying and all those kind of things. That is the most important thing. In Mozambique, they are complaining. Alexandra Bay, they are calling us to say, we don't have this. You know, sometimes it took 3 days for those members who are deploying in Alexandra Bay to get food. A simple thing, food, and you expect them to do their job properly. It's uncalled for.
Thank you so much. That is Mohapi, the national organizer of SANDU, South African National Defence Union. Of course, as their members are participating in these special elections, just, registering their expectations there, but also even encouraging them to participate in these votes. For now, back to you in studio as we monitor special votes across the province.
Thanks very much, my colleague there, Tebogo Phakedi, reporting from the Northwest.